Yo, what's up YouTube? KM888 here, and today I'm going to do a tier discussion video for you guys. Now, it's not a tier as we know him now, because there are still some OCG stuffs in him. As you can see heroes here. We don't know in the TCG when this thing will come out, actually, because it's not released yet. In the OCG, they already have it, or they're going to get it soon, so they are lucky, we aren't. But yeah, they will be TCG soon, I hope, but they're definitely going to be in the tier list. We're going to see that in a moment. As well as for the next set, we're going to get Pendulum Summons, Satella Knights, and Shaddoll. So I'm definitely going to talk about those two. Now, for this video, what am I going to do? I'm going to discuss a little bit of each deck, and I'm going to tell them why they'll be tier 1. Now, you see 10 different decks up here. You can see the artifacts, so I'm basically meaning H.A.T with that, hand, artifact, trap tricks, Bujin, heroes, Geargia, Infernity, Lightsworn, Madolche, Mermail, Satella Knight, and Shaddoll. Now, those 10 decks will be tier 1 according to me. Now, that's really awesome because it means we have a wide diversity of different decks that can actually be good. Um, of course, they'll all have their own time and period in the entire metagame of the entire ban list that's going on. Like, now it's July ban list, and we don't have Shaddolls and Satella Knights yet. We don't have the heroes yet. But everything else among these, except for Geargia at the moment, is probably tier 1. They're decks that, if you face them with like a rogue deck, you're thinking, oh my god, why? But yeah, Geargia, of course, isn't meta any top tier anymore. Tier 1. Because of the Geargia gear, players are still trying to find out what deck builds are actually going to be good with them. But I do think they'll come back. They are going to come back to tier 1 as soon as players, 1, find out how to play them now, and for 2, when the new support comes out, because we already know that the new deck's coming out, new structure deck for Geargia, and if the new stuff for Geargia is in it, which will probably be, then Geargia is definitely going to be tier 1 again. So let's jump... Oh, I forgot one thing to mention. Of course, they're not out yet, but when they are out, they'll immediately jump to tier 1. The rest will be tier 1 at that point as well. But those decks at that point will have a huge impact on the game, and we still have to see how the meta game will resolve. But I think it's going to be like this. So the first deck I'm going to talk with you about is H.A.T. So let's go to H.A.T. For each deck, I made kind of my own version. I know some of them might not be as meta, but it's just there as an example. So we clearly see a H.A.T deck right in front of us. It has the hands, 3 of each copy. It has the morale tech, 1 beagle tech actually for my version, and then the trap tricks. At the moment, this deck is actually really good with the sanctums and just popping everything and gaining control at on a slow based level. So that's exactly what most of the tier 1 decks will be doing. Slower decks will definitely be tier 1 material just because of the fact that they can control the field really well and gain control and gain more advantage slowly. Hat that won't change at all. Like, the build will probably change when Shaddolls and Satella Knights come out, but for this time, H.A.T is actually really good. It's tier 1 material, it's stopping everywhere, so I really think it will be, and well, it is, and it still will be later on tier 1 material. Definitely watch out for that. Also, if you want to keep the deck list, like, you can see the card, so just take it, I don't care. So yeah, H.A.T is definitely going to be a contender for the tier 1 meta, and people should really watch out for it still. Of course, Shaddolls, they set most of their stuff, and the fusion, it can't be destroyed by card effects, so this deck will have some problems, and it will probably be playing triple D prison, stuff like that, just to counter that one Shaddoll card. So yeah. For the next deck, let's go back to Metacall. We've already seen the artifacts. Let's go to Bujin. Of course, we all know Bujin very well. It came out with Yamato and Mikazuchi, and people start playing it the Yamato game, like summon Yamato and stick with that. Now, here you can see my build. I I've been using this quite a while. I'm also going to try and do a deck profile video with real cards of this deck soon. I'm not promising anything because I have a lot of work in real life, and I'm just trying to do this on my own base. So yeah, I do have this planned for later. So yeah, keep in touch for that. But Bujin, how will they play? Well, they have the option of Fossa play now. Like with the Hirumes and the Arasuda, they can make really aggressive plays while still controlling the board with a few trap cards that they play. You're still going to see a lot of trap-heavy Bujin decks. Like they would cut one Mikazuchi Den. Actually seen players only playing 2 Crane, but they play the Sinju Den. No Maxis, and then you have somewhat more room to play more aggressive traps, torrential, which I should include probably, and some deep prison stuff like that. So yeah, for Bujin, I'd say still keep the Yamato play in check. Just do the same as always. They will also do the same against Shaddoll and against Satella Knight. Satella Knight might be too fast. Shaddoll might be too slow but controlling for Bujin. But Bujin is still going to contend with a top tier deck, so really watch out for this. And if you want to play it, I mean, like, be my guest. Bujin is a really fun deck to play if you know how to play it. It's not always like turn 1 Yamato, go. No, you can actually make some really nice plays with it, so yeah. Then for the third deck, so meta call again. Heroes, yeah. There are a lot of variants of heroes, but let's see. I made mine like this. So I made it just a little bit linear, I think. I went triple Bubbleman, triple Alias, triple Shadow Mist, and 1 Thunder King, and then like lots of spells and some traps. So the one thing that I do want to say with this deck is I really love to play it also with the hands, like 2 fire hands and 2 ice hands in here, and maybe even a wild heart. That's actually really fun to play because you get more options. But the thing is, with heroes, you have a really limited extra deck. Oh, I see I didn't even make a side deck yet, but oh well, it doesn't really matter. Like for the extra deck, you have really small spots. Like if you go with Miracle Fusion, you already have to make sure go with the Ab Zeros. Then the Shining. You really have a lot, and you have to include things like Nova Master, just for fire hands with Super Poly, which is actually really good. That's also the reason that I actually play 1 Nova Master, just because you see fire hand so damn much, fire and ice hand. And then now with the Masked Hero stuff, you really have this problem. Like, not only are you playing the Miracle Fusion targets, you are also playing the Masked Hero targets, like double Acid, double Darklaw, and 1 Koga in my situation. And on top of that, you have to keep reckoning with the fact that you have really easy plays. Normal Summon Shadow Mist, set a couple of spell cards, special your Bubbleman, overlay into the Volval Chain, send Shadow Mist to the grave, get a Bubbleman, special Bubbleman, E-Call, special Bubbleman. It's really that at that point you're going with some seriously exceed plays, so you have to make sure you have some options ready for that. A lot of players still go with the Excalibur Blade Armor Ninja combo, which OTKs, but I've seen that the metagame is too changed up for that, and you probably won't get it off either way. So this is my Exceed lineup, which I think is actually better. So yeah. Heroes, when they come out, well, the only thing you need are like the Shadow Mists and the Mask Change and Mask Change second and Mask Charge, and then the Masked Heroes themselves. So when they come out, be sure of them that they'll be amazing. So yeah. Also, another tip that you can do is you can play summoner monks in here. I don't play anything that can special summon the Shadow Mist, but that's because I'm a terrible hero player. I really don't know how to optimize this deck, and I'm not really interested in it as well. But I know some tricks that could help, like a summoner monk, ditch a spell, special your Shadow Mist, get Mask Change, and you have an instant Darklaw. So that's actually a really good play. Summon Bubbleman, End Phase, Mask Change into Acid is also really well. So there are some standard stuff that I know about this, but I wouldn't go by my deck actually because it ain't the best hero deck out there. Just a fair warning. But I do think that heroes are going to be a really good deck. Just the fact that you have so many quick play spells, that makes the deck amazing. Super Poly, Moth Change second. You can all do that in the battle phase and just poke for more damage, and it's so unfair sometimes. So yeah. The fourth deck, Geargia. Now, I said to you guys, Geargia ain't tier 1 material at the moment because Geargia gear is gone. I might exaggerate that a bit because Geargia is still a good deck. It has always been a good deck, but it might be too slow for the meta that is coming up. Now, with a new structure deck that's coming out, and this is really awesome actually, the deck is going to be really good again. I've made this and I've tested it a couple of times today, and it's really good. Like, I still play the one Geargia gear, but you're gonna play with 2 MK2s and 2 MK3s, and that's really awesome. Like, if you do draw the Geargia gear, you can easily go into MK3 and something else, and then with MK3's effect, you can special summon something else again. Like, you just keep on special summoning. You also get another searcher in Geargiauger. No idea how to spell that. And Geargia Attacker. And Geargia Attacker is an awesome MST, basically. It's like armor. You can flip it face down, flip it face up, you name it, and you can just destroy spells and traps on the field up to the number of other Geargia monsters you control, which is easily to do because you have those accelerators, you have the Geargia gear, you have a lot of ways to special summon stuff. And another thing that I noticed, Geargia Arsenal, he doesn't negate the effect of the monster that he special summons, so you can just tribute Geargia Arsenal, special Geargiano MK3, effect MK3, special summon something from the grave. Oh look, that's amazing! So yeah, actually really good, and the deck is really fun. So yeah. Also, I run the one Birdman, so I can run the Goyo Guardian. But really interesting. Running Karakuri with this is also really good, so it's really going to be a top contender for the tier 1. Then the next deck. So we're going up Infernities now. I really like Infernities. It's a really fast-paced deck, and it really knows how to counter stuff and how to OTK. And I really like my build. I get a lot of stuff off with it, and it's just fun. So yeah, this deck is just a fun deck for me. I don't use it competitively because I'm not a pro Infernity player. Like, I can have that big ass play turn 1 and I just miss it. Like, I don't really know what to do with it. But it's fun to use for me. I made it myself. I didn't net deck at all, but so yeah. It's really fun though. Only the side deck I copied from the one of the YCSs that I saw on YouTube. A guy that went top six with it, I think. I really hate siding and I don't know what to side, so I just took that because I didn't know what else to side. So yeah, I had to make the side deck really fast for this video. But everything else, like, really awesome stuff in here, and I really like playing with the deck, and it's definitely a tier 1 contender as long as Soul Charge won't get banned. So it isn't banned, it isn't limited in this list, so it's just here to stay. So yeah, pretty awesome. Definitely tier 1 material for even when Shaddolls and Satella Knights come out. Shaddolls are just too slow for Infernity. Unless they get the turn 1 fusion of the... like, what's it called again? El Shaddoll. Yeah, the mid-rash. If the Shaddolls get turn 1 mid-rash, this deck has some problems. You need to get that deep risen as fast as possible then, so yeah. You probably won't go off against Shaddolls if they get that turn 1 mid-rash, but yeah. Anyway, if they don't get it, you can just go off and blow up in their face and be like, hey, look, I win. So yeah, they won't fight back too much, I think. Also, you can have that Palabyrinth, so that's actually really good. At that point, Archfiend runs over it. You also have the 2 lances to run over the mid-rash, so yeah. Let's go to the next deck. God damn, who's calling me? The Judgment Dragon, Lightsworn. I really like Lightsworn, actually. It's a good deck. As you can see, I've made this. Let's get rid of these. Again, mid-rash, really good against this because it doesn't allow for much special summoning. But this deck has way more outs to it, and I really like it because it's just fast. You go through your deck in a couple of turns, like 3 turns, 4 turns, and you're down your deck. It's actually pretty cool to do and really, really fun actually. Oh, I see. I need to make a spot for the Goyo Guardian. Let's see. Goyo Guardian. What will we take out? I think we'll take out the size of armor. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to summon, so and I think the Goyo Guardian is gonna come in handy a lot more. Anyway, I'm gonna probably make the Leo or the Star Eater anyways, if I can go something. But yeah, Lightsworn, really fun deck to play. I also like playing against it. Like my main deck are worms, so and I don't have any problem with Lightsworn whatsoever. I main deck Kaiko, so um, to be honest, I have no problems at all with any of these decks. I like them all. Tier 1 is really has a really good variety actually this time, and it's gonna be a fun meta as soon as they all are out because we're gonna see so many different decks on YCSs, regionals, and that's just great. Like really. Anyway, this deck it's still gonna be great. I mean, it's just out with all the TCG stuff, the Rhydons, the Minerva, and like this entire freaking combo. So yeah. Anyway, this deck is really great and it's certainly worth playing. It's also really cheap, so it's good for budget players. So yeah. Let's see the next deck. Yeah, I made some changes. I know. Angeli, Madolche. As most of you guys know, Madolche has been topping some events, and well, it's no secret why it is. Like summon Angeli, special hoot cake, win. No, but seriously, like this is my version, but I like the version with the hands better. Like there's a version with fire and ice hand in it, and it's a bit more destructive. But with this deck, if you can get the right place off, you explode more in their face. So yeah. Anyway, I really like this deck. That's why I'm using it. But I really think that Madolche is really good, and they're still going to be good. One of the cards that stop them is Skill Drain, and like nothing in the current meta plays that. So yeah, why? So let's see. Madolche, really good deck for the next meta. I do main deck Karkardis and Maxis. But I still think this is going to be really awesome in the next meta, even against Shaddoll, Satellas, you name it. I mean, this deck can go off really fast. Then for the next deck, Mermail. Yeah, the deck that never dies. It's the one deck that a lot of people don't know how to play, but always like to play. Just same with me. I do play a Mermail deck, and I play it like this. I even included already some hero stuff, like the Mask Change Second into the Asset. I really like that combo. You can do it with anything from this deck. Like the highest you get is a level 7, like Tidal or the Megalo, and you can just send it to the grave, special the Asset, and blow up. This deck is going to be really awesome in upcoming tournaments. You just have to watch out for the Midrash again, Vanity Emptiness, but that's like the normal stuff you have to watch out for, and this deck is going to be enormously well prepared for that, so yeah. I mean, it isn't hit on the current ban list, and it probably won't get hit on the next one either. Konami just loves Mermail, I guess. But yeah. Anyway, this deck will be tier 1, believe it. It's just too good, and it will still be that good in a couple of ban lists probably. And then for the two new decks, the Satella Knights and the Shaddolls. I'm gonna bring up the Satellas first, because they're first in the list. And I'm playing them with the Star Seraphs. I really like this build, though we won't probably be getting the Star Seraphs right away. They were OCG's exclusives in the previous set, and we still didn't got them. So if you're gonna run Satellas, you're probably gonna have to run them in a different way than me. But in general, this deck is actually really nice. You have a lot of consistency now that Rhoda has come to 2. I wonder why Konami did that. Like, seriously. No, it's just way too obvious they did it for this and for heroes. So yeah, but this deck is really really awesome. It gains once it gains momentum, it just goes off. Like the only thing you need is the one day nap. Just go day nap into Altair and you're done. Like if this thing goes to the grave, oh yeah, Altair special summon day nap, Surge Vega. Oh look, I suddenly have everything I need. Hmm, what could we do now? I swear, this deck, once it goes off, it's just pretty much hard to counter, and you'll have some problems with it, so yeah. And of course, now the last deck. Well, Star Satella and Satella Knight on their own, both going to be tier 1 as soon as they come out, so be prepared for it. And the last deck, Shaddolls. Um, as you can see, I actually run Mask Chameleons in it. That's because the Shaddoll Dragon has 0 defense, and I actually like the Mask Chameleon in it because it gives me a Synchro 8 option in Scrap Dragon, and some easier rank 4 options like in these. I only play 2 Shaddoll Fusion, but I also play a Super Poly and an Instant Fusion, so yeah, I have enough Fusion support. And I also am testing out the Dark Renewal because I think it would be funny to use. So this deck is really, really good. You have to watch out for it because it is extremely fast. If they get off a Curry Bandit, just send everything to the grave, like, just watch out because that's way too overpowered. And Soul Charge is also really good in this, so I could actually, if I want, play 2 or 3 Soul Charge and it would still be viable. And it's just too amazing to think about it. I mean, this deck is really really good, and you have to be prepared for it. So yeah, just be prepared. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror will stop this pretty much completely as long as you don't get MSTs or an X Sidon off. Also, this thing Nephilim is a light, so you'll have to watch out for that at that point. But most of the things I'd say are countered by Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Um, but yeah, anyway, Shaddolls, really awesome deck. Be prepared for it. It's definitely going to be tier 1 and it's going to change the metagame, so yeah. And then, last but not least, my meta call. Up here in the side, I put some cards that are generally good against most of these decks. So if you can find a way to put these in without hurting your own deck, that would be awesome because you'll be set for the tier 1. Things that banish, like Banisher of the Radiance, Dimensional Fissure, and Macrocosmos, they're good against Madolche, against artifacts because everything they have just gets banished. It's good against Bujin. It's good against heroes. No more Miracle Fusion. Um, it's decent against Geargia because you won't be able to go with the MK2 anymore. It's great against Infernity. Nothing for for the for the Necromancer to revive, no soul charges, nothing. It's awesome against Lightsworn, it's good against Madolche, nothing in the grave for Hootcake. Also, if you tribute this, it just gets banished, so big deal. It's amazing against Mermail, nothing to pop anymore, because everything gets banished. Altair is the best card in this deck for a level 4 Satella Knight. You just special summon anything from the grave, that's amazing. But without a grave, you have nothing. And Shaddoll, they have to go to the grave as well. So things that banish are amazing against everything. Try to work it out. It's really good. Kaiko and Thunder King, things that stun. Really fun. Artifacts? They don't care about these. I mean, they just pop it. Bujin. Oh look, I have a Kaiko and a Thunder King. Bujin is basically... They just have to draw their cards out. They're slow, it won't work for them. Elemental heroes. You banish the stuff in their grave with Kaiko, and they can't search for Shadow Mist thanks to Thunder King. Really good. Same for Geargia. Same for Infernities. Lightsworn. Hi, say hi to my Kaiko, Lightsworn. Have fun. Madolche. Well, Thunder King is kinda good against it because for one they can't search, and for two they can't exceed because you just tribute it and the monster gets popped. But thanks to the field spell, they run over these quite easy, so it doesn't really matter. Mermail, Thunder King is quite viable for that, I'd say, and Kaiko is good in sometimes if you know what to banish. And against Satella Knight, Thunder King just shuts them down, and Shaddoll, Thunder King, and Kaiko are both amazing. Soul Drain is good against multiples of this deck. I don't think I have to go over them again. And then Skill Drain and one of each Imprisoning Mirror. It's obvious. Like, if you look at this, light, light. Elemental Heroes are mostly a variety, but there are lights and there are darks. I'd say the Shadow Mist is a thing that you need to stop because it searches everything. So the Shadow Imprisoning Mirror actually helps against it. Geargia, these won't help so much, but Skill Drain does, so yeah. Infernity, Dark, Lightsworn, Light. Madolche, Meh, Earth. Mermail, Water. These things don't work out. And then we have Satella Knights and and Shaddolls again light and dark. Most of the metagame is light and dark. If you just put in 2 light imprisoning mirrors and 2 shadow imprisoning mirrors, you're set against 90% of the meta. So yeah, that was my video of today. I really hope you liked it. I've shown all my decks. If you want to stop them, I'll post some times in the description so you can just jump to the right minute just to see the deck. And I guess that was about it. If you have any questions, definitely post them underneath. I'm really happy to answer them all. So yeah, see you guys. Comment below. I mean, it all makes me happy. Like the video, put those thumbs up. It all helps the video gets noticed, and subscribe to my channel for more content. So yeah, see you guys.